So I'm here to talk solutions to a problem. Because that's what us as melanated people, or that's what the world in general, let's not even say melanated people, but that's what the world in general does not ever give us. Because the devil wants to live in confusion forever. So, what can we do? What can men do? What can women do? Ultimately, that's the only variable to this because God created woman and man. So if anyone's going to get us out of this, it will be woman and man. For men, regardless of age, well, I'll say for men of age. So that means like basically 20 and up. Even though 20-year-old is still a child, it is what it is. Once you kind of hit puberty, your own, even though you shouldn't be on your own, the world will never perceive you as a child again. So for men, the world is different. People are different. Women are different. Men are different. My answer will be the same for women. Know who you are. Know your mind. So if the world says go left, you need to know, what do you think? Have a mind of your own. Do you want to go left too? If the world say jump off a cliff, do you want to jump off a cliff? If the world say be transgender, are you gonna, I guess, get rid of it? What do they call that? Castration, I think. I don't know. Think for yourself. That's one. Two, we live in a world that is demonic and devilish. So any male similar to myself that is born joyous, gentle, kind, empathetic, this world is not meant for you. Know that from the jump. Know that as a child. This world is not meant for you. If you have any godly qualities, any positive qualities, the world is meant to destroy you. Period. So you might not make male friends because the first step to encountering other men and you have those qualities, they're going to see if they can overthrow you because we live in an insecure world. So it's like it's like Jill. The best way for me not to get picked on is to find someone to pick on so I can be seen as tough. Luckily, I come from a family that knows how to protect themselves, so I'm good. But if you're not, you need to know how to, one, stay out the way. Two, defend yourself, because if you can't defend yourself, you can't defend a child or a woman. So that's that. Know how to defend yourself. But we live in a world that like violence isn't really real anymore. It's just off the internet, like internet bullying. And the world is technology based now, so you don't got to deal with that. But as far as like getting picked on, you need to be confident. Find your source of uniqueness and find God. That's what I can say to most of the stuff that I say towards the men will be synonymous with the women's side, just a few other things. But find God. Find a purpose and find someone. Find a father in spirit in addition to your father in flesh. Respect yourself, your fellow man, and your fellow woman. Because you are a man. So that means eventually a woman's going to follow you and a child's going to follow you, whether you like it or not. Someone's going to look up to you. So you have to know where you stand. As far as treating men, treat yourself first. Don't give out anything. You are first. Everything else is if you have ample. There's a lot of insecure men out here today and weak and just sad. So they're gonna try to. Men are more expressive creatures, so they'll try to maybe fight if they still do fight nowadays or shoot. you need to know where you stand within yourself and your heart. So that's all I really can say about that. Try to treat people with kindness. If you encounter men that are weak-willed, insecure, powerless, do not befriend them ever. Because if whatever you befriend, you take upon their plight. That's what people don't tell you about connectivity, whether it's with energy, emotions, vibrations. Whatever you take on them. You take on their burden. You know how they say if you date someone, you date them and their family? That's how it is. So know who you clicked up with. So if you can't see yourself kicking it with them without them getting jealous or going out, that's how your brain need to perceive it. Can I go out with this person and equally get mine and they can get theirs? If I go out with this person, are they going to mess up the vibe? If I go out with this person and there's women around, are they going to be a odd second wheel? If I go without someone, are they equally on my level? That's how people need to choose people. People don't talk about it, but it's like women and men. Choose people that are equal to you or capable to do things that you can do. And I don't mean same person. I mean just like if I can run fast, you need to do something is equivalently good. Like I don't need you to, you don't have to be a track star, but you might need to cook good. Like if I got a skill, you have to. It's like friendship should be compatible, but also it needs to be. You need to consider that it needs to be reciprocal. So if whatever I put in the bucket, you got to put something equivalent to it in the bucket. As far as treating women, don't let women get over you. Treat them with respect. Treat women with as enough respect as they'll give themselves. I'll put it like that. Because there's a lot of women that you can give respect to, but if they don't respect themselves, it doesn't matter. So treat women with respect. If you have enough love in your heart, give them a little extra. Just because in a lawless world, in an unruly world, a woman will just do whatever. Judgment will come for her, but she will only judge herself in the end. So a woman can do all type of whorish things, and it won't only make sense to her in the end. That's when she'll break down and start crying and saying, I didn't do. It's too late. But it doesn't mean you still shouldn't respect her. Give her the respect that she gives herself. If you find a woman that you are near and dear to, cover her. Meaning, like, protect. And I don't mean that in a physical way, but cover her. Like, see her as your own. Because that's what women need. They won't say it, but that's what they need. A lot of women are just wild because they need. It's like a child needing a parent. Like they need a guide. They need someone to lead them in the right direction. Otherwise, they'll just go buck wild. It's part of the programming. Women are innately unruly creatures. They come from darkness and chaos. And men come from the light. It's the duality. We need to know how to understand the balance. Be honest with yourself as a man. If you like multiple women at the same time, be honest with them. Not to say date, like if you're a polygamist or if you date multiple women, just let all of them know what time it is. Don't lie. Don't cheat. You don't have to do no ill will things if you're honest. Be an honest man. Find a profession that God will approve of. Get your money up. Don't listen to no woman that says, oh, I need a man that got this much. Be content with you first. If she says, I need a man with 200K, tell her to find one. A woman will say whatever they need to say. If you fall for the okie doke, it's on you. Because it's like basically shoot for the stars type of thing with women. If a woman says, I want 200K, she's saying there's some man out there dumb enough or willing enough to give me 200K. So all I have to do is say it. She doesn't even have to be equivalent to what she's asking for. She just knows if I say it, there's a possibility that it can be given to me. It doesn't mean that I'm worth that. You have to understand how the game works. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't. If you're willing to entertain it, entertain it. I'd put it like that. Never feel like you're lonely. There's always someone for you. God made enough people on the planet. He made more women on purpose. So you could choose through a bigger scope. You don't think God don't know that all this is supposed to happen? He wrote the whole story. So he knew some would be unruly. He knew some would be succubus. He knew some would, have Jezebel spirits. They're not meant to be wiped up. That's why he made more. There's more women on this planet than there is men. Find your purpose with God. If you can't do it solo, try to find other men that you relate to that can teach you how to do it. Men need leadership. So if you feel that you're at odds with that, try to find men that can lead you and submit to that will. Because it's easier for a man to submit than a woman. Even though they say women are innately submissive, they have to be taught how to do it. That's why men are more mechanical. So you don't have to do much for them to say, okay, I get paid this much, I'll do this. You know what I'm saying? There's no typical argument towards it. It's okay, boom, boom. Try to get your mind right before you hit your 30s. Depending on where the world goes, I won't speak on finances because it's just a timing thing. Try to understand what is valuable to you at a young age. And live a life of pleasure the earlier you can, because the older you can, it'll be harder to get out of it. Not to say that you have to work your whole life, but try to give yourself a balance between the two. Don't try to just work your whole life, because you will start seeking pleasure in areas you don't need to because you never had it. Try not to have pleasure your whole life because you need to understand what work is. Work before pleasure. If you establish work, you can play more. If you play more, you won't even know how to work. Decide whether you want to be a father early. Doesn't mean you have to be one. Decide if you're capable of doing it, if it had to happen. Because it might happen and you might not be ready. Just decide if it's possible for you to be ready. Get what I'm saying? Because you might meet someone and it might happen. You might actually want to be a father and not be capable. Find a woman that appreciates you for what you are, not what you offer. And if you find that, do right by her, because she sees your spirit. She doesn't see the flesh. If a woman truly loves, do what you can to make her happy. I'm not saying like exhaust yourself, but do what you can. When you're truly in love, you see it as family and not not fornication. Like, when you truly love someone, see it as family. Like, I'm meant to do right by her because this is family to me. Same thing with your children. If you want and willing to have children, and live a life with God. Seek your own God. If you're melanated, seek a God that looks like you. Because we are Jesus resurrected. It's just multiple versions. If you follow the archetype of Jesus and you can feel it in you, then you're meant to walk that path. If you follow the archetype of someone else, walk that path. And the closer you do it, the more you will be blessed. It's all role play. This whole world is role play. It's like a movie. I think that's about it for the men. Also, know what you want, know what you are. So, like, for me, I'm a man, but I'm not the most dominant man because I'm more creative. I'm more artsy. I have a lot of feminine energy inside of me. That's why I can create. But know where you stand. Innately, I like submissive women, even though I'm not like the archetype of full dominance. I know basically, like, I know what makes me cringe. I know a red flag. Red flag is too women that are too dominant. I don't like that because too dominance in women typically leads to a nature of unruliness. And I don't like people that are too stubborn or can't follow a direction, you know. Cuz that's essentially what dominance is. It makes its own rules. It is the rule. That's what dominance is. And submission is I will follow the rule. So, as a man, you choose what works for you. I typically work well um with submissive women or half breed, which is submissive and dominant, kind of like a tomboy, but not like tomboy nowadays, because tomboy nowadays means gay, or butch or whatever the woman gay version is called. I mean tomboy like in the '90s, like a woman that is outdoorsy, is active, goes plays sports. Like I mean like the original term of tomboy. Um, that's what fits me. And yeah, know what fits you. Because eventually it's not about gender when you get to a certain age. It's about what fits you. That's who will click with you. What fits. As for women, let's go to women. A woman. At a young age, know that you are a woman. Like I said with the man, know that you need to have an open mind. Because even though you are like hive mind. And like group mind thinkers. Women typically don't think alone, they think in groups. So if one woman agrees, it's like whoever the alpha woman is, the others will follow suit. Even if they disagree, it don't matter. That's just the creation of women. They will follow the crowd. The best women have to be the women that can think for themselves, have autonomy of their own mind. So as a teenager, young women, try to find what makes you you, unique and special, because that's what's gonna make you attractive. And I don't mean nowadays where people are just trying to be different but technically all the same. I mean genuinely unique to you. That's what's gonna make you special. Try to find confidence in yourself. You usually get that from your parents. Genuinely from your mother initially, and then from your father that reinforces that to make you feel beautiful. Um, know what you want as far as domination, the older you get. So like in your teens and your 20s when you start dating, know what you want to dominate you, because that's essentially your role. You're meant to be dominated. So know what you want that to be. Do you want a submissive man to dominate you? Do you want a dominant man to dominate you? Do you want a hybrid man to dominate you? Because once a woman allows for dominance upon her, or once she allows a man to imprint upon her, because that's what happens, she will start to assimilate to his will. Women won't say that because they don't want, even though, because submission doesn't mean weak, but women's brain perceive it that way. Vulnerability don't mean weak. Women perceive it that way. So it's like once a woman get clicked at with a man and starts liking him, she will bend to his will. So once you know your role, once you know your position, you can know what to choose. That's why women typically have bad choosing principles, and they're not taught it. That's why they continue to make awful decisions in their life, and their mothers don't reinforce good decision making because they probably don't know either. So You need to know what role you play as a woman before you get to womanhood. Um, Secondly, know what type of pleasure you like. I mean that in a sexual way, and I mean that in a non-sexual way. So if you know that you like attention from a lot of men, you might want to be more free in your youth. So if you want two men around you, be honest with the dudes. Be like, I want two men around me. Meaning like, you might want to have a threesome with two dudes. It's fine, but be honest with the men around you. Don't take nothing serious. Until you're married with a ring on, don't take the world of relationships that serious, because you're still trying to find out who you are. By the time you're 25, you should already know kind of who you want to guide you, who you want to lead you. Don't be too wild, because similar to high school, your record will follow you. As a woman, it is what it is. Your record will follow you. So the more prudish you are, that's cool, because you can still be a freak and be prudish. Prudish doesn't necessarily mean good. The more modest you are, the more polished you are, the more purified you are, the better. Because ultimately you're saving yourself for the man that's going to take care of you. So the more strikes you have on your chart, the uglier it's going to look. The worse it's going to look for you. Now, you can cap on it and fake on it. Eventually, the truth is going to come to the light, whether through you or through him. So know what you want and know that your past will follow you. And whoever commits to that, I can only hope that he lives a content life and you live a content life. But you can't. The thing about women is women can't lie to themselves. That's why they're more depressed than men. Because even if you lie and get away with it, you still know the truth in your mind. Even if you lie to yourself, it'll haunt you. I know the psyche of a woman. That is creepy, but it's the truth. You try to be as honest with yourself as possible just to keep you happy in the long term. You know, not for him, but for you. Because ultimately, whatever helps him will help you. That's the beauty of submission. The more you do for him, he do for you if you find the right partner. You know what you truly want in a partner. Ultimately, if you don't, it's going to work against you. As a woman, know the gift of femininity, which is the art of seduction. So know how to seduce a man. Know all the gifts that a woman can do. Because once you know those gifts, you don't have to use them for evil, but you need to know how to use them when you find the man that you want or the men that you do want. Because those are the tools that are gonna make you thrive. Because ultimately, men were created to take care of women and child. So if you know how to move correctly, you won't have much work to do in the end. That's the whole. Women weren't supposed to work like that. Y'all supposed to still work, but not like that. Also, know if you want to be dominant, meaning if you want to overthrow your man or not. Because certain women really want to be men. Know that about yourself. Because you just might have more dominance than you. Know what type of woman you are. And admit that and understand it. Because you might want to make more money than your man just to overthrow him. It's cool. But know what you are and know what that will do. Because many times women will do things and not know the ramifications of what they're doing. Men don't have the luxury of just doing a bunch of stuff and then not having to deal with the consequence. Women can live in delusion until they die. It is what it is. What else? As far as women to women livelihood, know the type of homegirls you around. Know who you want to call your friend. Don't have many friends because women are catty. Find women that compliment you. Not copy you, but compliment. Y'all can be similar, but not the same. Find women that if sharing is caring. So I see the ideal woman kind of like a lioness. So it's like, if you see a man and y'all both single, and y'all know y'all both can eat, y'all might want to join forces instead of fighting each other over the one man. You know what I'm saying? He might have enough to take care of both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Until you all can find out what makes sense for the both of you individually. Maybe I'm different. Maybe I'm gonna just an idealist and I don't understand the true nature of the world. But maybe I don't know. What else? What else about women? Be emotionally strong, meaning that understand that criticism is not an attack. It's for improvement. Now, if a man is really trying to hurt you, you should use your intuition to know the difference. A man that is wanting to build you is not going to say things that's going to make you cry. Now, if you're weak-hearted and you just cry all the time, you might not need a man at the moment. You might just need yourself and God. What else? Understand how to benefit a man. You know, there was this one lady that I spoke to in the hospital when I used to work at the hospital. And she was like in her 50s. She said, I didn't know that dressing up for my man made him happy. And I looked at her like, are you stupid? Why they take you until you're 50? Like, so as a woman, know that you are a compliment to your man. So like, basically, you know, women say like, well, I'm pretty just as I am. I'm beautiful as I am. That is going to lead you to complacency. That's like me saying, I'm fine as I am. That means I have no room for growth. That means I've basically completed the game of life. You should never be that fine. Never be that complacent. Always want to do more. For not only for you, but for the man you're with and vice versa. So to say what I'm here to say is, say you're good by yourself, right? But you need to go to the gym. You should go to the gym. Why? Because in the future you might have a man. You see what I'm saying? Work for your future in the now. And I say that particularly for women because most women just live their life they want and then think that a man just gonna love them. It's not gonna work that way. It's gonna be much harder for you to get loved if you're just doing things for you until a man pull up. You know, you're gonna end up resenting him, saying he made me. You should have wanted to do it yourself. You know. So, example, if I was a woman, I'd want to look right for my man. I'd want not only for the man. Say you get children, you want to be in the active mode to bettering yourself. That's what life is about, women or man. So, with understanding that, you need to think your heart needs to be thoughtful. You need to be considerate in your heart. Like, as a woman, if I was born a woman, I'd find out how to feel sexy in lingerie. Because some women still wearing, you know what I'm saying, underwears with the Frozen characters on it. It's like, is you a child? You feel me? Certain women weren't trained by their mothers or other feminine characters how to be appealing to the opposite sex. Some women don't even know how to talk to men. Still talking greasy because no one taught them how to do it. So you find some examples. We in the internet age. We in the educational age. We in the information age. If you don't know something, find out how to do it. Read a book. Go on Google. Read a Robert Greene book. Like, it's not hard to gain knowledge if you truly seek it. As a woman, since you are bred to assimilate to a man's will, all I can say is find a man that you align with. So like, I'm a painter. I'm an artist and a writer. So that means a woman that probably likes artsy stuff should try to link up with the vibes. If I'm a football player, you need to probably be a woman that likes watching football. Because what's going to happen is you're going to watch football and be like, I only watch it because of you. Really? Now you said, talking about he did. No, you did it. You need to find out where you can fit to make yourself be comfortable. If you don't like football, you might not want to date football players. If you might date it for the popularity, but you need to be honest with yourself. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Is this making me happy? You know what I'm saying? So, like a stripper might want to date like a ball player or something like that, or like a a rapper. You see, because it fits. If that makes any, do you get what I'm saying? Your whatever you got going on the man should fit that curriculum. You know what I'm saying? And you should be willing to work towards his needs. If you're not, you with the wrong one. Like if I was a woman and I knew how to do secretarial work and I ended up meeting like a lawyer, easy peasy. Because I'm already a secretary. You see how it works? Equally yoked. Your desire should already kind of align with his. You know. If you know how to network. For example, I've been seeking someone that know how to do Photoshop. I've been seeking someone that know how to do, you know what I'm saying, like connection, like into galleries and this and that. If I had a woman like that, boom, that shit would have been ideal. Why? Because we complement one another. We live in the same world. That's what life is, complementary. Connectivity is complementary. It should work like this always. Always. Ideally, that's how it's supposed to be. They say in the Bible that God made Eve when Adam was sleeping. Meaning that he went into his imaginary world. He went into his dream state and extracted the concept that he wanted for a woman. And by the time he woke up, he manifested it. And then she popped out. That's why they were supposed to be equally yoked. Now, I know it's all allegory and it's a story, but it's metaphorical. Which means if you do enough homework on yourself, you should automatically kind of know what you like. Like, I know what I like in women. I know I got a top 3. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not selfish to myself in my mind or in my heart. I know, just like you might want chicken, steak, and shrimp. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, you favor one of the 3. That's how my brain works, because I'm not picky. I know I like certain things, but I know ultimately if I get chicken, steak, and shrimp, one of them I really want the most. It's just that I like the variety. Some people don't know that, admit that you like the variety of things. It's not wrong. You're just telling yourself what you like. Ultimately, everyone has to have a primary. That's what women don't like to understand. They always want to say, well, I want to be the main. You can be the main. You just have to fit his primary. And vice versa. You know what I'm saying? She might not like you for the main. But you probably are, her emotional boyfriend or her work boyfriend. It's the same thing. People do it all the time. They're just not honest about what it is that we're talking about. You might like one girl because she has a nice body and is good for the back shots. Is it wrong? No. It's his preference. You might like one woman, she got a smaller frame, but she's calmer. She's good, making you feel at ease. She knows how to, she's emotionally capable. 2. You might like a third one that's more adventurous and got like a slim, thick body. So as you can see, it's 3 different archetypes for 3 different purposes. But ultimately, that man has a favor. That's what it is. All can be loved, but only one can be favored. That's the difference from favor and love. You can love a lot of things, but which do you favor? The favor is where it all ends. You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand that. Anywho, I hope you all learned something from that, and we'll talk later.